Hello, YouTube viewers. How are you doing? I am going to make a tweet of where we are. Here we go. All right, I just arrived. My hotelier, the man whose family owns this place, his name is Quy, Q-U-Y. And I have just barely arrived. And so these are all little individual bungalows. This is what I've rented. This is the bathroom, shower. Let's see, is it a noodle shower? Yeah, you could say it's something of a noodle shower, right? And there's an eye for design here. Look at the little shelf. And look, a tall person's sink. This is not for Asian consumption. This is like somebody who's 6'4" and happy because they like tall sinks. And then there's an asymmetrical, armoire. So this would be for the hanging of the clothes. Yes. I'm going to close that. And look at this. I've already put in my rucksack and my day bag. There. I love this little oval window, little detail, and there's all little paths, like a stone paths. So I have to carry this, I can't use the wheels. And look at the cool brick wall. And check out, the Singer sewing machine, but like the slab. This is very European. And, obviously there is a designer behind this. Even like the bronze type finishing on the windows. We'll have a peek outside. Here we go. I have my own little gallery. It's been raining the last couple of days. And so here we have, look at my appointed little bungalow. So I'm bungalow 84. I didn't even know that. But I do have a key and it's in my pocket. So I don't think there's a bird in the cage, but there might have been at one point. And look at the little table and outdoor stools. And look, I've got my own little pond and garden, and I got my shrubberies. I even have a wheelbarrow and a little lamp. So there's a lot going on here. And look at the little fence. So this is the homestay called Tropical Valley. And you can see like the little rounded hills and whatnot. So I'm very excited having arrived here. And tomorrow I'm going on an excursion at a cave early in the day. So I guess there's new construction going on that side. You can tell from the pillars. So yes, I like the fact that I've got my own little bungalow. This has been the first time I rented something like this on this trip, and it's great because we're out in, I guess you can call the country. Now I have to actually look at my map to see what the geography is. So here we get to wipe off our feet, and they even have a complimentary umbrella. There we go. In case it rains. Hopefully it won't, because it's already rained a couple of days in Hue, which is south of here. So we've gone somewhat north of Hue, 4 hours drive. So, and our shuttle bus driver really was like something of a maniac, and he really piled up the shuttle bus, like where the aisles had these makeshift seats. There was an elderly woman sitting on like a milk crate or something of the like, and it was really, we were packed like sardines, although, you know, all of the tourists did have, you know, chairs, except for this one gentleman didn't have a back because he had to kind of shift seats at some point. So there we go. It's funny that we don't have any viewers, but I'm going to sit down in my chair and look at this. I have bought snacks, and I opened it on the little shuttle bus, and these are delicious. These are very thin coffee wafers, and you see, I didn't eat all of them, but what I like about these containers is that they stay crisp and dry. Oh, they're delicious. Really delicious, because they're made from the coffee here in Vietnam. So why don't I have a seat in my pointed window, and this is a very solid table. So let me just try and get settled in my chair. Okay, oh God, it's a comfy chair, yes. Alrighty, look at me in my picture window, and it's clean. It's not, it doesn't have, you know, a lot of spots on it. I like that. It's a nice, so you know how you feel when you're up in the country where the weather's slightly cooler and it's a rainy day. It tends to be a little more chilly, and generally you have a fireplace. The only thing that this place is missing is a fireplace. But it's got a lot of charm to it. And I don't know, I'm trying to remember how much it costs, but it's like under $25, something like that, for a night. And that would be $25 Canadian. I'll have to double check to make sure, but yeah, it's just like, oh my God. It's nice for a couple of nights, and I think hopefully if I need to extend another day, I think I can afford to do it, especially if the weather gets better and there's more activities and I just start feeling relaxed, you know? We'll see. There's also a kitchen where you can order just about anything you want, and it's open to the clientele up until 10 at night, which is a reasonable hour because in the city, restaurants kind of can close at 10 or even slightly earlier. So, you know, make up your mind. What do you want to eat? And put in your order. Plus, I think if I were to pick up a phone and turn on Grab, I can always have food delivered here. I did it in Soc Tran, and the timing was off because at the same time that I put in the order and it was too late to cancel, the friend I made on the bus on the way to Soc Tran invited me to dinner with his family. So, you know, I told the hotel just to leave the delivery in the lobby and I'll pick it up when I get back, which I did. And then I had a very nice dinner with my friend Tam and his family. So yeah, and then I kind of got a sense of what takeout food is like, because you know, there was a hamburger, there was a hot dog, there were French fries, and I can't remember if there were chicken McNuggets. I think that's what I kind of ordered. So the simple takeout food type of thing. It was okay, but because it was cold, obviously, it probably would have been better, all being hot. But I had a better meal at a restaurant with beer and company and conversation and stuff like that. So there was no contest. But just to say, I'm being eyeballed by a funny little lady who's spying on me. No, she's not spying on me, but I guess people are curious, you know. In terms of, I assume she's part of the family. She could be somebody's great aunt or grandmother, for all I know, or she could be, you know, the groundskeeper's wife or something. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Generally, homestays are plots of land with multiple dwellings, you know, like guest dwellings. And I have to say, this as a guest dwelling, private, I could close the curtains, lock my door, and just like work away or do anything, and then I can sit by my picture window and, you know, I'm saying, hey, come on over for coffee or something. You can sit at the other end of the table, right here. This is a nice place. And it's unfortunate that nobody is live to see it, because you can only see it on the replay, which means that I can't get up out of my chair and show you stuff. Well, maybe I can offer you it's called a Coffee Joy. So it's kind of like a milk coffee mocha wafer cookie. It's really good. You know, the thing about the tropics, when you have a hermetically sealed package and you open it, like let's say you're in Fiji, the humidity will start softening things. So you better eat it quickly, otherwise it'll lose its crisp. Or close it up like this if you're not eating anything. What would be nice is having maybe a kettle and a little kitchen station, but you know, it's not that big a deal. I can probably, you know, step on the patio stones and go off to the little restaurant area and order something. Maybe I can bring something back. I don't know. Like a thermos would be nice, especially on chilly days like this. I mean, I can put on my shoes and some socks and things, but I've been wearing my Speedo beach shoes, which have tiny little holes in the soles of them, so that when you do step in the water, they have a way of venting any water out. And it means that if you're walking in rainy puddles and stuff, it's no biggie. It eventually dries out, it evaporates. So there's that. Let me just look and see if anybody, let's see if we put in the Twitter properly, because so far it's always been a hit. Generally, if I send out a tweet, it's, yeah, there it is, 13 minutes ago. And what time is, it's really early in the morning in Eastern Standard Time. It is 5:28 in the morning. But who knows, I might actually do some video conferencing from here, because it's so nice. I mean, look at this. Look at this beautiful little picture window and this cute little room. And I love my little table. It's like a solid piece of lumber that thick and a tree that wide. So yeah. It still feels like a vacation, which is good, because sometimes you transition out of vacation and then kind of work. But no, since Hoi An, I kind of really did officially feel very relaxed, very comfortable, very at ease, unstressed, not a care in the world. And it extended into Da Nang and extended into Hue And then Hui, the day that I left Da Nang was a rain day, and Hui the entire time was a rain day. So that was a kind of a transition, but you're still on holiday. And the lady at the Bonami Hotel in Hui really stepped up in terms of demonstrated what it's like to be an owner and to look after your guests. And she really was a sweet lady to me. I'm sure she's a sweet lady to all of her clients, but I mean, I know from my experience, the way she behaved with me was I took notes in the sense that, wow, you know, they're not all like that. But when they are, you really appreciate the kind of treatment that you get. So I'm very pleased in that, and that helped me get here. Again, this gentleman and his family own and run this place. And, you know, there was a makeshift transport. We took my big bag, my rucksack and my day bag and myself and the gentleman on his scooter. There is a way to do it, and of course, you know, he's like maybe 140 pounds. So the thing is that you got to be able to balance. There's a certain speed. So he went the perfect speed, and we were able to go through. This is an interesting neighborhood. There's a lot of young children on bicycles and just generally milling about. So you can tell there are a lot of young families that live here, and you know that basically all the vehicles that circulate in this area behave accordingly, you know, and that's nice to see, because you can sense that the air quality is good. It's a good, healthy place to raise children. They're not going to get any kind of chemicals, any kind of pollution, and it gives them a good head start. And then, you know, they can grow up and move to the city when they have job opportunities. That's like, but for those formative years, it's better that they have a good, healthy environment away from big city pollution. Having been a kid who grew up in the suburbs, you know, exploring and stuff on my bicycle with my best friends, and then you get to, you know, college age, and then you migrate into the city. It makes sense. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. So let me see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to check on YouTube. Okay, there I is. Built-in QR code scanner for all phone. Set up now. All right. No, I'm not going to do it at the moment. I just want to look at my channel and on the live. See if I'm... Yes, tour of Tropical Valley Homestay Bungalow. I think this is worthy of a little look-see. Yeah, and it's only a shame that nobody is awake at this hour to come in and say hi, but we're going to try and hang out. But I'm at this point, it's already 25 to 6, so I can hold out a little bit longer, and then we can see what's on the menu. Because, you know, I've been spoiled, right? In terms of all of the restaurants that I'll have breakfast, lunch, or dinner at, and the choice. Yesterday I had nachos supreme and a kind of a club sandwich for lunch. That was comfort food on a rainy day. That worked out really well. Then I had an Indian restaurant, which was within walking distance, you know, from a rainy night, and that worked out well. We had lamb last night, lamb kadai, and I had a couple of chicken samosas, and I had a huge naan, a garlic naan, and I had a third of it, or a quarter of it actually, as takeaway, because I wasn't able to finish everything, and they packaged it and very, very nicely, and I had that with my breakfast this morning at the Bonhomie. They made an omelette and they give you a little French baguette, and I had the extra naan to have with my omelette, and I had a spare beer in my fridge, so I brought it down for breakfast, and it worked out well. Yes, it did. So so let's look at the calendar. And you know, I was thinking about footage that I took, and I might actually have some snorkeling footage on my GoPro camera that I bought a special case that allows you to dive, and I have another JVC camera that's just built in, and it's meant to go in the water up to 12 feet in depth, and I already have that captured footage already on a little disc, and I think on my iPhone. So I might be using this wonderful little bungalow for video editing, you know, because it's still kind of rainy. It's early evening. I haven't really socialized with anybody other than the owner. I've seen a few people milling about, and you know, it's interesting the kind of interactions you have with traveling people. There are people that won't make eye contact with you, won't, you know, some people will give you a hello, you know, whether you're crossing on the street or you're in the same establishment. And there are other people that will not even acknowledge your existence. It's almost like don't look the wild animal in the eye, or you know, if you don't give them eye contact, then it's like you don't exist. And I always wonder what's behind that kind of behavior, because you can get it in a hostile situation. There was one incident where I had a lower bunk and somebody had the upper bunk, and you have curtains on your private bed. And I know that I had closed my curtain and I left the room. I come back at the end of the day, and somebody had hung a towel on a rung, and they drew my curtain in order to let their towel dry. And they had their backpack on the floor and blocking the access to like a little patio a door. And I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty forward, you know, drawing somebody else's thing back and hanging your thing in front of you know, their bed, like you know, it's like, as one does. And so I realize I need to get into my space, into my bed, and then I want to close my curtain. So I pull back this hanging towel, and it was only when I got on my bed I realized it was covered in beach sand. So this asshole gets a sandy and then there's beach sand. So by doing that, actually I ended up putting sand on their bed as well. You know, get a clue, asshole. Because I had to brush off, and then I thought, do I go downstairs and complain? You know, say, by the way, there's some asshole who doesn't know how to, you know, share a dorm with people, who's doing stuff. And of course, it ends up the person's like already out of there the next day. So they don't care. And they'll just like traipse over people's stuff. Because they're not really your neighbor. They're like your temporary passing through, and they don't want to make contact because they don't want to be nice or be accountable. So yeah, there's some douchey people that you come across traveling, and you don't understand where their motivation is. It's like there's like resting meh face. You're on vacation and this is all you have. I've encountered a few people like that, really unfazed, no social graces, and I'm wondering what's the deal with you guys? Why are you like this? I'm not going to waste that much time, but you encounter them, and you just it doesn't make sense, but you know, keep soldiering on. So in a good way, you kind of can get a sense of these people pretty quickly. So you don't invest any iota of whatever. You just ignore them, and then it's like they don't see you either. And they say, yes, that's the unspoken agreement. I don't see you, you don't see me. Ooh, I don't get it. Anyway, I'm somewhat more sociable because, I don't know, it just seems it's easier to be that way. But I mean, you can just be pleasant without investing anything. It doesn't cost you anything. So those are some of my little observations, and now I'm thinking about it. I know where my GoPro is, and I know where all of my connectors are, and I'm thinking I could even bring it to the dinner table and then bring it back here and continue, because I really would like to transfer my snorkeling footage and then try to assemble something and then put it on the YouTube, because I have done no editing whatsoever while I'm here, and I could in fact take the opportunity to turn this into a great little work studio. And yeah, and I could even say, well, maybe I can extend a day. I should look at the calendar. I was going to do that, and then I got distracted. So the calendar says today is the 17th. Today is the 17th, and I've booked tomorrow night, and I need to book Halong Bay coming up soon. So there might be something where I end up going someplace different from here towards Halong Bay and book something either from the 20th to the 23rd or the 21st to the 24th, something to that effect. I need to return to Hanoi on the 25th. So I pretty well have this place, and I can probably eke out an extra day, but sometimes what you think you can do, you can't, because you find out, oh, your bungalow's been booked. So sorry, not available. And then what do? You can look and see what's available in the neighborhood and do that. And then it's just the inconvenience of repacking your things you've unpacked and then moving. And then, it's just a formality, and it's normal with this kind of travel. So tomorrow I could do some laundry, because I generally have a bag of laundry every week and a half. So I could take advantage of that after tomorrow, when I come back from the hiking. So whatever sweaty clothes I have in the hiking, and I'll have a pre-prepared bag and say, here, get this ready for me tomorrow. Or the day after next, when I'll check out, or maybe I'll decide to stay an extra day, or I'll migrate to another local place just to stay in the same neighborhood. It's nice having choices. So there's that. So I'm looking forward to spending some time. Right now, look, I don't have any socks on my feet, and I could use a good pedicure, and I might probably get one in Halong Bay. Maybe I'll ask around to see if there's a nail salon or something, because I wanted to get one in Da Nang, but it was a rain day, and it just didn't work out. And I'm sure there's a nail and foot place in the area, and I don't mind giving work. And I could ask my, you know what I think is going to happen? I'm going to mention it to my hotelier, and he's going to say, oh, well, we have an in-house, because the whole family does, they have many hats. So I don't mind that. It's just, I would prefer to have my toes done by somebody who does it on a regular basis, just because it's less strange, as opposed to somebody who prepares your food who also does your toenails. It's just a funny thing. But maybe it's not the person who prepares the food. But you know what? It doesn't hurt to ask, because I could use a good toenail trimming. Because the last time I had it done was in Fuquoc, which was like early on in the vacation. So these are things that are necessary when you travel long term. And because I have like a difficulty in bending my knees and reaching down, I can't trim my own toenails. I have a medical excuse. I can have a doctor's note that says, no, can't do his own toes. Must go to a professional. So, yeah. In case somebody was saying, well, why don't you trim your own fucking toes? I can do these, but it's problematic doing my toes. And I don't have a toenail clipper anyway. And I like the idea, the way that they soak it, and they have the tools, and then they file, and they did a really good job in Fuquoc the last time. So I'm due, because it's been about 2 months that I haven't done anything since. So I should look into that. And I got some good advice as to where to look online to book my combination Kadba Island excursion and 2 to 3 night Halong Bay boat, sleeper boat, cruise. And I'm going to light some incense and pray to somebody, if there's such a thing as praying, that I do, which I'm not exactly sure. The powers that be. I'm going to pray for good weather, because the last time I was in Halong Bay, it rained, even though we had little spots of sunlight, but there was a lot of overcastness, and I know that it could have been prettier. And we have 3 consecutive days. So I might study the forecast and then say, oh, well, I need to delay, my booking, make it further down in the week if there's a better chance of getting better weather. So there's all of these juggling things that one needs to do, and one gets better at the longer one has traveled. You tend to learn from prior, rash decisions or ill-conceived ideas without going through a particular checklist. And then once you've done a few mistakes, you say, okay, I'm not gonna repeat that same mistake. And there's sometimes new parameters that you wouldn't have thought of, but because of recent history, you're getting better at saying, oh yeah, but what about that thing? Look into that. And then you say, oh my God, yeah, that's going to make all the difference. So I like my solid table. Yes, sirree, it is a good table. And I love this homestay. I love my personal little bungalow. I love the attention to detail. I love my picture window. I love my curtains. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy it here. So I'm going to have to put on my shoes and then head on out over to the kitchen place. And oh, look at the all the linen looks comfortable, and the little thin duvet looks warm enough, and the bed is high enough off the floor that even if it gets a little bit chilly, because there's no room. And the fact that they have an A roof, I would expect that it sort of is good for heat retention, and or if it keeps things cool or keeps things warm. So you know, I've got a fan, I've got an air conditioner. Won't need them in this particular instance with the weather we've had. As you might not have known, but it hasn't rained the entire 2 months leading up to like 3 days ago. I haven't seen a single like rainy day at all. So, you know, I have nothing to complain about in terms of weather and stuff. It's nice to get a change of weather, but like after 4 days or 5 days, okay, that's it. Enough. Bring back the sun. So you guys are pretty well up to date now about, you know, let me walk you around a little bit. And yes, let's change camera there. Okay, so here it is, the Tropical Valley. You can see it embroidered on the little pillow. There it be. Tropical Valley Homestay here in Phong Na. There is Kui. So I told you he's about 130 pounds, and he was able to get me here and my luggage and my rucksack and my day bag on his scooter. So so there we are. So he's a guy that handles a lot of you know, comings and goings. He was really proactive with me. There's an app called WhatsApp that you can pretty well facilitate communications. You can send people pictures. Like I sent him a photograph of where I was dropped off by the shuttle bus and a photograph of my face. And so he knew what I looked like and he knew where I was. So he found me like fairly quickly. And you know, he brought me here, and then there were some other guests that needed stuff, and so I sat myself down, and he returned. Oh, look at, there's some lamps, just like in Hoi An. So there we are. Okay, so I got to put on my Speedo beach shoes without socks and go fishing for my GoPro camera, which I know where it is. It's in this bag here in one of these envelopes, and take the card out and then put it in my day bag. And I have enough battery packs and cables that I can do some editing, maybe over dinner, and then bring it back here to complete the editing. And oh yeah, here we go. We're going to have a little interview with Kui. There he is. Say hi to my YouTube friends.
Hello!
This is Tropical Valley Homestay.
Topical Valley Homestay, welcome.
There you are.
Yeah, welcome Michael.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your stay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love the, oh, you turned it on, or it turns on at night.
Yeah.
Oh look, so I have my own personal little fountain. That's a nice thing to, I think, close the broadcast on. Because I guess when the light goes down, there's an automatic, like all of these little lights turn on, so when you can find your way in at night. And I'm just, you know what, I have mosquito spray. I'm going to spray my ankles, because even though I'm wearing long pants, they have a way of finding their way back into. So I'm going to remember to do that, because if you rustle through this kind of stuff, they will come. So back indoors where it's safe. But I love these doors. These are obviously, these are not cheap. These, you know, in North America, you pay a pretty penny, but they last forever, right? And especially in humid environments, you can get like a lot of moss that'll form, and it'll kind of even eat away at aluminum. So these are like treated aluminum extruded things, but they're meant to last, 20, 30 years. So this was a good investment. I even like the railings that they have here, and the outdoor flooring. There's a lot I like about this homestay, and I'm glad that Kui got to put in a showing of. No, I'm gonna close the. With the me and the little fountain in the shot, because it makes a good thumbnail. There we go. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for staying this long into the tour of the bungalow at the Tropical Valley Homestay. Welcome. Bye for now.